Welcome to a brand new episode of
Yeah, that's why just leave it to the experts.
Welcome to a brand new episode of Padaku Panda, and today we are going to discuss tuition classes.
Yes, and we have a guest with us, so let's tune into the podcast.
The reason why we are doing this episode is because Ramnujans and I were actually discussing how we went to like a shit ton of tuitions when we were in school.
Yeah. Like, I went to one, but
It felt a lot.
that one tuition used to reach every subject. So like 7 days of the week I had tuitions. And I'm like, एक मिनट क्या चल रहा है? मैं जिएगा कब फिर life?
And what about you, Nikita? You also...
yeah. So I didn't go for only one. I went for multiple.
As was normal.
as was the norm, I guess.
throughout my life, that is. But yeah, even like the hours were ungodly, and now looking back on it, like I don't think I had a normal teenager.
Dude, who did? Okay, so if you're a teenager in India, there's going to be a good chance that this was your life.
Yeah, no, I feel that
Agreed.
tuition life is a normal teenager life.
Yes.
Like if you didn't go to tuition, then they are like,
Then-
अरे तू तो फिर you didn't have that experience only. of
मतलब
tuition
see
and nonsense."
हमारा life थोड़ी ऐसे to all the boys I love before types होने वाला है. Like it's just what it is. But dude, can you imagine like because these tuitions are like tried and tested, no? Like you essentially how parents have to keep like a fund for मेरी daughter की शादी. They have to keep a fund for my daughter's tuition
For sure,
class.
for sure.
Because
Yeah.
they are not like cheap.
No.
Education is
Absolutely.
not cheap.
And because our education is not public, like you know the US की 10th तक it's free, 12th
Yeah,
तक
yeah.
it's free because you're paying the education taxes or whatever. So it's even more because like ठीक है you got into a good school, उसका fees obviously high रहेगा compared to government schools and colleges. And then after that you have to go for tuition.
Tuition का fees भी देना पड़ेगा.
क्या बकवास सिखा रहे हैं स्कूल में कि you need a tuition class एक तो क्या बकवास सिखा रहे
But
हैं
somewhere down the line, schools also have become like this whole place where they take it for granted that this child is
Going
gonna
for
take
tuition.
Tuition में सीखना ही
अरे
पड़ेगा.
next level, the teachers themselves said, I take tuitions.
Dude, but then
So
that
come-
means she's teaching less in class. So like whoever's coming, like it can be capitalized, right?
Yeah.
In our
Because
school,
they're
it
like
wasn't
if
allowed.
you come,
Legally it wasn't allowed,
Yeah.
but people have, I know teachers who still taken classes.
मतलब even
Yeah.
if it's not allowed for her students, she will take for younger batches or something. Like they'll find a loophole.
Yeah, okay.
And they'd be like, you know, I'm training you for the next year or whatever shit. Dude, and okay, so Mary's का scene भी ये था कि like they used to take the same portion in 9th and 10th, and so for 2 years you're studying the same
Same
portion.
thing.
मतलब तो गधे को ही नहीं मिलेगा यार. मतलब 85 के नीचे. There is a limit. Like after
Yeah.
that, how much you have read that, how much you
Yeah.
have like that's how like and tuition class is based on that only concept like you said that we'll repeat this as many times
mugging
as
up.
possible so that people don't forget it.
Dude, मेरे को trigonometry का table याद है. Like I remember the table and I remember the whole क्या बोलते हैं values and all of things also because this guy had made a jingle. I'm not making this up. बोरा क्लासेस का एक ऐसा patented jingle है. तुम जाके पब्लिक में गाओगे ना किसी को तो पता रहेगा कि वो you're from बोरा. No, not right now. I'm not giving that guy this publicity.
Join Bora
No,
classes,
go
you will
for it.
get that
I'm a
information
loyalist,
first.
okay?
Pay Bora class ka tuition. We are not here to teach you
There
anything.
needs to have a post-credit please.
It's almost his intellectual property, dude. So I don't want to put it up on the internet. That's why I'm not doing it. I don't want to deal with him only in life. इसके बाद. So, like, coming to the point, I know everything, but I don't know what it does.
Okay.
I don't know.
You know this information,
Yeah.
but where to apply
I
pata
don't know
nahi.
how it was derived. I don't know उसका the logic behind it. I don't know how to use it. कुछ नहीं. सिर्फ रट्टा मार के रखा है मैंने वो.
But
Physics
that
का मैं
is
derive
where-
ही करती थी यार,
But
I
that
never
is
used to
where
remember
in
anything.
11th, 12th also I was in Mahesh, but in 10th standard, like the teachers that came for Mahesh tutorial in Pune were the best of best from Bombay. And since we were the first batch, they
From
had
Bombay?
to... Yeah.
That's fancy.
Like
dude.
they- Bombay Scottish
Yeah, they had to set a certain, bar or whatever. So we had a very good array of teachers and they really taught us well. So as he's saying, even I remember the periodic table and all very well and they put logic behind it. So the way they taught was really, really good.
So do you think you guys think that tuition classes there's a good chance that they teach better because there's more money there?
Obviously.
Like there is some motivation.
Yeah, I'm guessing.
Because I don't think teachers in schools get paid very well, do they? Like,
I don't. For government, though, yes.
No,
but for
definitely
like
not.
now, because IB and all has come in, it's nuts. Like IB
like that
pays like a corporate
no,
company.
because I know that Mary's doesn't pay its teachers well.
No,
like
Yeah,
for
so
sure.
in government schools also, I don't think there is no
Government school का तो एक quota ही रहेगा ना कि this
They
is the
cannot.
quota for your salary,
so
so
there
you
is
can't.
nothing. Yeah, there's nothing that they can do.
Dude, but that makes sense, no? Because मैंने 12th standard तक per month 7 रुपया fees दिया. Like the income that the school itself generates is less. So what will give his teachers is also going to be less.
Exactly. But also in tuitions, like as he's saying, the IB wala funda would apply for tuitions back then. So people with like masters and who have really studied on that subject could come back and teach, and they would obviously get paid a respectable amount.
Got it. And it's also like you're saying, it's related to income and also. So tuition classes can charge an exorbitant amount for whatever
definitely.
they're offering and
Yeah.
then pay their teachers
Definitely.
accordingly.
So
Like-
that is why they used to make sure that if because your parents have paid so much, they used to make sure that you attend classes, that you perform in tests.
Dude, yeah, this
It
was
that
such a
motivation.
guilt trip. Like at the age of 13, you're having these kind of guilt
Dude,
trips कि
बहुत,
भाई
बहुत.
मेरे पैर से बहुत पैसे दिए मेरे को जाना पड़ेगा. It's
And
the
they
saddest
make
thing
it
in the
very
world.
evident. Like they will public shame you. Like Bora classes, I had more people in my tuition ka batch than I had in
Same.
school.
I was just gonna say this.
Like
we
and
had like
it was crazy. And unke samne, if you get public shame, then it's mad.
yeah, same. And plus, like, so in school, what happens is you've been with the same people for about at the most 5 or 6 years or whatever. For us, it was more than 12 years that we are in the same school. So that familiarity is there. But then when you're in classes, there are people from every different kind of school, different walks of life, and you're like, they barely know you, and there you are getting shamed in front of them. And you're like, oh shit, what is my life now?
It's like super life lessons you're learning in tuitions.
But the flip side to that was the first. So I was in an all boys school, and this is the first time you were introduced to a co-ed
Having
environment.
girls around, yes.
Like first time, and उसमें अगर publicly embarrass हो गए
yeah.
तो ऐसा stakes are next level.
It's so weird, but even in Lateral, so when I was in an all-girls school and Lateral was co-ed, but it was so weird. The boys were all crammed in one corner and the girls were
Yeah.
all crammed in one
Yeah,
corner.
yeah.
And by mistake, one poor boy had to sit on the girls' side. Matlab,
बस खत्म. जिंदगी खत्म हो
yeah,
गई.
like
भाई.
poor
Even
fellow
you
is being
guys-
embarrassed.
You guys got tuition was like very fancy or what? Like
Yeah.
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 Dude, like massive hall, full AC.
AC.
Full. It's a full.
Oh,
because
so
they-
you all
they're
are
getting-
paying for the amenities
Correct.
also.
Yeah.
Like, घर पे ऐसी नहीं होता
Some of
लोग.
my attendance was like a card. Like I had to go and swipe the card.
Oh,
And
y'all
later
had
in
that
11th,
like
12th,
y'all
Mahesh
had
बहुत
that.
fancy था.
later
बहुत fancy.
You
in
had that
11th, 12th, it
corporate
was
life.
fingerprint because no one could proxy mara then.
जेल ही बना दो ना भाई खत्म ही कर दो
like
क्या
हम काट के लो ना like क्यों
Dude, what the hell? man?
Dude, but like tuitions, like especially large scale tuitions are really intense. Like really intense. They are on your case. Like you are put under so much pressure to perform that you eventually will end up performing.
Got
You
it.
don't have an option only. Like if you have to underperform, like for example in the 5 tests, if I had to underperform, I had to just leave my paper blank. और उसके बाद ऐसा full meeting बैठता. My parents would have been
Yeah.
called. All teachers would have been
मतलब
called.
they were in constant touch
Yeah,
with your parents
always.
and everything.
like our parents would get I think automated emails and messages when our tests are
It's a
coming up
fancy
and
class.
with reports.
Dang.
With reports.
No,
and
like-
they would call people in.
Basically, tuitions were like school, but with like a very strict warden.
Got it.
Like
Yeah.
school,
Like
where you can
people were
slack
just
off.
stricter
Yeah.
in tuition.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
Lord.
you
Or
could
you
say
just
school
felt
was a
worse.
more slacker place. Like we could like relax in school.
I feel that is what happened. Like now that you say this, I paid more attention to tuitions because there were repercussions to it. And school में तो मैं full मस्ती करता था.
So basically, you're saying that if school was a dictatorship, it would work much better.
Not really.
I don't know. I think that we should
I mean,
stray away from that concept.
rebel लोग तो है ही, but
वो तो रहने वाले.
yeah, but वो तो tuition में भी थे.
It's also the parents' accountability. But I don't know about your parents, but my parents were like, classes लगा के भी स्कूल में इतना कम मार्क्स क्यों मिल रहा है?
हाँ,
So
that
that
is
was
true.
an additional thing. So also for
guilt
us,
trip तो बहुत था.
Yeah,
yeah, for us there was a disparity. I don't know if schools had like a version or what, but say in theorems or something like that, like in like if there was a different way, like I learned in class and I put that into play in
Oh,
school,
yes.
the teacher would get triggered and she cut my
No,
mark.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like,
She
answer
would
to
be
wahi
like,
mila na.
yeah, she would be like, this is not how I taught you.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
yes. And then so I had to literally...
You're going to tuition now?
Yeah, most of us, I think, whoever
Negative
went
marks.
for classes.
Arey, and Pune is so small. एक तो everyone knows everyone. And
Exactly.
they should tell, नहीं,
Dude, there is
ये
a-
तो ये sir ने सिखाया है.
Yes.
ये तू तो पक्का बोला जाता है ना,
Everybody
ये तो वो sir ने
knows
सिखाया है.
everybody
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Pune. एक तो.
Yeah.
So they knew that these techniques come from these classes. Like we had people from Mahesh also. They're like, हाँ, you go to Mahesh tutorials. No, this I haven't taught you this.
I haven't taught you. And
Marks
then...
cancel.
Max. They used to do that.
Marks cancel.
Arey, they in front of you, they will ask you कि okay, you're from this tuition, right? I didn't teach you this way. Cross 0.
Yeah,
Done.
go do it. Go do
Dude,
it.
but
my
ये
way.
कौन सा ego है यार?
I have
तुम्हारे
no
बच्चे सीख रहे, isn't that the point
Yeah,
of
I
this
have
entire
no idea.
thing?
I
Like
have no
ये
idea.
तो
It's-
बकवास ही है.
I feel the point of school and tuitions together is just to surround your kids as much as possible in
With
academics.
the
Yeah.
syllabus.
That's it.
So that they don't have time to do anything else. But
Correct.
we used to find time in between.
Or used to bunk classes, right?
Yeah.
So like, matlab, obviously that was an option, and you'd feel very bad about it, obviously, because you know kitne paise bhare and everything. Because like, see, I have never been to a giant class. Like there was this thing, kya bolte usko? Like you guys, when you went to Mahesh and all, I went to Dhotiwala, which was like I said, it was like so premium that there were like 12 people in our one class, and in my case it worked again, but not because there were too many people, but because there were so less people, and
Personal
because they
attention.
were so good that I had to really run to keep up while
Up
they
with
were
them,
walking. Like, you know, so that was one thing that I guess it could work in a very bad way also, but it worked for me.
Yeah.
And another thing was that after 10th, because everybody was getting in the IIT bandwagon, I joined Barkleyval.
Oh, God.
Oh, BT.
And dude, BT is a BT only.
Yeah.
Like for people who are not interested in doing anything related to IIT, BT is a BT. It's like, you know, how are 16-year-olds going to know what they want to do with their life?
No,
right?
no.
But I
Barkleyval
blame
tutorial starts in
classes.
8th
No,
standard.
I'll blame classes for this.
I'm telling you why 16, because I joined when I was 15, 16 years old.
Yeah.
And that time BT was new, okay? So I'm telling you guys that I haven't joined a giant class, even though BT is like one of
It's
the
huge.
giantest
Massive.
IIT
Yeah,
things,
yeah.
especially in Pune, Mumbai area. So I am telling you that it was not a giant class at the time, because it was just when it started. And like you guys were the guinea pig batch
Batch.
of Mahesh
Mahesh.
tutorials. Like I feel like we were the guinea pig batch of BT. And I feel like suddenly now I was just surrounded by a very different culture.
Yeah.
Like, and that is not something that I was used to. And because again I had gone to CBSE from ICSE, that was also a different culture, and the CBSE kids fit into that BT culture very well.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
easily.
They're
And-
already put in that pressure. And
Yeah, and not even that pressure. It's more about being more open to other things, like more than anything. Because I feel like ICSE, you're literally putting on blinders and walking. Like that
very
is
protected. Yeah.
weirdly enough, like
Yeah,
that, it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
a blinder kind of situation only. And then suddenly I was not only put in CBSE, I was also put in Barkleyval. So like
Double pressure.
Yeah, and Barkleyval was just like the only thing I was interested in Barkleyval was lateral thinking. Because it was the only interesting thing that was happening, and it was the only thing that was new to me. Like, oh my god, yeah, lateral thinking, so easy, logic, whatever, you know, that kind of shit. But then physics, maths, chemistry to normally tha. But Barkleyval was another level. Like, if you're really good, you'll get to be in the Lloyd's Chamber batch, and you will get to move from the NIBM batch to the Lloyd's Chamber batch. Suddenly one boy was missing, and then it turned out that he had cleared so well that he got into Lloyd's Chamber batch. Then being introduced to like additions and negative marking and everything. Like, suddenly there was a tsunami
Yeah,
of things
it's just-
happening. And for someone who doesn't know whether they want to do IIT yet, it's very taxing.
Yeah, it
Yep.
is.
Because you're surrounded by fucking geniuses. Like all of a sudden.
Yeah,
All of
for
a
sure.
sudden.
Yeah.
It didn't help that I was a chashmish and I looked very studious, so everybody used to automatically think that
Assume,
I was really smart, and then, you know, I'd get like 40 on 180 or something, and then they'd be like, oh,
Not really.
But I'll tell you what, okay, so one of the really smart kids from my school, like really padako full genius, he didn't go to a single tuitions. After 12th, he had the option to join IIT Bombay or AIMS. He had cracked both entrances.
Whoa.
And he didn't go for any tuitions because he was just naturally a genius and he knew what he wanted to do. That's it.
What did he do?
He went to IIT B. He's working in Japan right now.
Whoa.
He's killed it in life. Like, हम लोग school में-
He's like that ideal bacha that
Yeah.
your parents, he's the Sharma ji ka beta.
Yeah.
Like, this is who your parents want you to be because your parents also couldn't be this.
Correct. So school में बहुत ragging किया हमने उसका
Because Vincent's and boys school.
all boys school. Sports में we should not take him involved in playing. है ना? अब भी वो फाड़ रहा है. You know ना?
हम यहाँ पे podcast बना रहे हैं.
He's like, तुम आ जाओ अभी Japan.
But see, he was meant to do it, and he did it without like a Bakliyawala or whatever.
Right.
And I had a friend who actually went to Bakliyawala and he struggled. He was just like, dude, मेरे को झेप ही नहीं. He was also a very smart kid, but he's like, dude, I'm not made for this environment only. Like he was a very sporty kid. He was brilliant, but he was a very sporty kid. Like he just went to the US for his masters of engineering, but before that he was coaching tennis. Like I'm like that. With that mentality, you cannot go to IIT.
So I blame, I wouldn't say blame, it's a very heavy word, but in Mahesh tutorial, I don't know if it was in Bora, 11th, 12th. So you were either PCM or PCMB, obviously in science, but they condition you from 10th grade that you are going to be doing science. Okay.
Oh, so
Science
that other
के बाद-
options don't exist only.
ठीक है, science कर दो. PCM and PCMB. So if you are doing PCM, the only option for you is to become an engineer. The only option for you with a PCMB or a PCB
Doctor.
is to become a doctor.
Yeah.
And I would say, it just, as you said, you get these blinders and like, that's it. There are no
but
other options.
And you know why that is? Because they want people from 10 to continue to 11th and 12th. It's as
That's
simple as
also
that.
true.
It's
Dude,
marketing.
I never thought
Yeah.
about
It's
that
simple,
because then
no?
you will continue with their class only, na? If they
Because
have
in
trained you
Bora
in that
classes I
way.
didn't have this. In Bora classes they used to not talk about 11th and 12th because 11th and 12th की classes ही चालू नहीं हुए थे. And now they have started it. So I'm guessing now it happens in Bora classes as well.
So it was like, it was really, there was no
It's much
other
deeper.
option. There was no other option.
Dude, genuinely the reason I had to take engineering was because I didn't
No,
know
there were other options.
other options. That's उधर गया फिर 3 साल दिया नहीं झेपरा करके I had to drop out and then figure out what all was
Yeah, like it's really sad because you could say from a batch of say 100 people, I'm saying only in one class, okay, I'm not even saying batch, there were like 3 batches,
Three
and
classes with
3
100
classes,
people.
yeah,
Damn.
and that made like that went on simultaneously and they had morning and evening, okay, so you could say 600 people. Out of 600, you can say barely 20 dropped out from 11th, 12th of Mahesh and joined and did something else with their life. And like, I didn't know architecture needed the same subjects as a basic
Maths.
engineer.
Architecture really maths लगता
Maths
है.
लगता है,
I
correct.
didn't know that. I really didn't know. One day while reading my textbook, I realized that this same
This was
textbook is being
a
used.
thing that we could have done.
Yeah, and
तो
like it's
that's
really
what ना
sad.
बहुत या तो एक डेडिकेटेड लॉन्ग टर्म गोल है कि तुम इंजीनियर बनो या डॉक्टर बनो या तो बहुत शॉर्ट टर्म गोल्स है ट्यूशंस के
Yeah.
कि ओके नेक्स्ट एग्जाम यू विल परफॉर्म दिस मच दैट्स इट दैट्स
Which is mostly actually, at
In
least the
smaller
younger
tuitions.
children के जो
Smaller
tuitions रहते हैं is this only कि I just want this child to perform better in whatever
Yeah.
exam this child is
Yeah,
giving.
and
Especially
as
because
he's
parents का attitude ऐसा है.
And as he's saying, like there are classes like Prime, Yukti, Bakliwal, which start at the age of 12. How
12, yeah.
are you putting a 12-year-old for IIT classes?
Dude,
तुमको
12
क्या
How do you even know? अभी तक तो water cycle सीख रहा है बच्चा. What the hell?
Dude, 8th में I was a duckan. Like I probably still am because I will not get into IIT or whatever. But in 8th standard, I didn't know better in first year of engineering. मेरे को 8th standard से कैसे पता रहेगा मेरे को
I
IIT जाना
know.
है?
अरे यार, अरे लो, see, it's a different thing if your child is special. Like I feel like if this Japanese, if your friend who's working in Japan knew at 12 that मेरे को ये करना है, it's
No,
very
he
different.
knew, and that
Exactly,
makes sense.
exactly. But like it's weird because like when I was in 12th 13 I knew कि मेरे को arts में कुछ करना है.
Yeah.
So it's a very different thing. But still I joined Bakliwal ना. See what is happening in this case.
Exactly.
It's like ठीक है मेरे को arts में कुछ करना है. My parents were like the best thing that is possible in arts is that you do architecture because it's a very good amalgamation of both things, which I agree. And it was not like I was disinterested in architecture, but they're like architecture करना है तो IIT से कर.
हाँ करने का तो बेस्ट से करो वैसा.
So it wasn't like I ever wanted to be an engineer. Why I was in Lateral also, so that I can crack the first exam, so I can give the second one, which I feel is wild. To get into IIT architecture, you have to crack 2 IIT exams.
It's nuts. Yeah, shit.
Less than engineering also. मतलब arts वाले बच्चे are doing more.
Yeah.
क्या बकवास है
Dude,
ये?
I genuinely didn't know this.
Yeah, you
Like-
have to give a drawing exam after you clear
Crazy.
the first exam.
Baap re, can't even think about it.
But there are a few people who have the calling, which I would really wish more people understand. That a few people, like I know people who would do nothing throughout the year, like
And
till the
still-
end, just go and do whatever the hell they want, show up whenever they want. But like exam के time पे बराबर
हाँ.
फाड़ के रख देते थे.
फोड़
And I'm
देते
like
थे
कैसा?
वो.
Like that 3 Idiots वाला आमिर खान. And like those two chomus playing with him है मजा कर रहे हैं. Oh shit. हम लोग तो मजा एक साथ कर रहे थे. क्या हुआ?
That was 99% of the crowd. 100%. That encapsulated very nicely.
That one kid who would be like, मैं पढ़ाई नहीं कर रहा है, मेरे को कुछ नहीं आता है.
Yeah, boy, see, I honestly feel that if we have to move away from this tuition thing, which I feel with IB तो we are, because IB का fees
Yeah.
इतना रहता है उसका tuition को तो कोई पैसा नहीं
इसके
देने
बाद
वाला.
मेरे पास
My
ट्यूशन का
sister.
मतलब I have gone into your dowry also to pay for this school.
Okay, but one
पता
minute.
नहीं तेरी शादी
So
होगी या
one
नहीं.
second, IB. My sister was in IB. Even though they don't need classes, and my sister didn't attend a single class, there was this one particular kid in her school who paid to write her thesis papers. Like they had to give, and I was like,
Wait, kids have to get thesis papers?
yeah, they had to write. They had to
IB
write
school
papers.
में
Not
thesis
papers,
papers.
but like these papers they had to write. These people, like she actually paid her teachers or students to write that also for her, and I'm like, what's the point?
अच्छा यार पैसे है तो सब कुछ
हाँ,
But
मतलब
वही
बच्चे
lesson.
serious कर रहे हैं life में.
What are you learning? But since we all like kind of come from a science background, how strong is your commercial knowledge? Tell me one thing.
Commercial in the sense?
As in with your taxes, with your finances,
Dhakka
how
na.
great are you? How
No.
No, dude.
Same.
So
Same.
basically, this all knowledge has come just because my mom has a business, huh? By the way, now.
Yeah,
Like this, she has a small business. My mom has a business that I am helping out with. Practical knowledge is coming from that.
Yeah.
Like everything I know about commerce is because of my mom's business.
I
huh?
know about commerce because my mom worked in a bank her whole life.
There we go.
And my mom had by the way, she was a gold medalist in chemistry. And she worked in a bank. So it doesn't fucking
matter.
dude.
It doesn't
Why
matter
did
where
you
you
go to
got
your mom for tuition?
My mom only sent me for tuition.
Yeah, the mom is like मेरे से नहीं होगा ये
Dude,
please
My
निकल.
mom used to teach my brother and I till like 9th standard and she's like बस 9th के बाद मेरे से नहीं होएगा.
But
9th
afterwards,
जाओ.
it's a little problematic
Yeah.
also ना पता भी नहीं है कि क्या सिखा रहे हैं and whatever.
No, I think
And the
parents
same-
also are like बाहर जाके सीखेगा, like some discipline, something will come.
No, for the parents knew that if you go to these boards, these classes, you know the board paper that's gonna come.
Sure.
It's that
Like
you
they're
need
like,
good
ID
sample
card
paper
मिलेगा.
है इनके पास.
हाँ, बस.
तुम लोग वो कर लो
बस.
बस हो गया.
Dude, like I was coming to that point, like what value do you think tuitions have added? Because for me in my head, school was a place of masti, and then initially after that dar is gone, even tuitions was a place of masti.
Yeah.
Like
Masti all the time.
that's it. I was just doing that only.
So the value you can say tuitions added to me is some of my best friends I have met in my tuitions, in my classes. In fact, my particular group that I hang out with right now all the time, they are all from my tuitions. So you could say like that bond that was formed,
Was
bunking
different.
together
Yeah.
and like
Same.
hijacking teachers' classes or whatever, it all came from there. So that, and it was a different frame of mind. Like in school you were in uniform, it was
It's
a bit
more
more
chill,
disciplined.
yeah.
Whereas in
Tuitions are more
tuitions you were
chill.
like you were like in your casuals and you were chiller. Obviously it was actually very taxing because our Saturday Sunday timings were 2 in the afternoon to 9 in the evening.
7 hours on Saturday, Sunday.
Yes.
मेरे को ये सब
And God forbid if you had joined the CET classes as well.
Oh,
CET was a separate thing altogether.
that entrance exam is all
It's a different story
trauma
only.
trip that is.
Yeah, but still, dude, like 2 to 9 is very.
Yeah.
I don't think I could do that.
Nahin, for sure.
But fun things, dude.
Yeah,
Fun things.
fun things. Let me
Fun
see.
things was
let's
the
let's
friend
move.
circle, and then the bunking that happened. Like in 11th, 12th, the bunking that started. So the coolest place for Mahesh Troll to bunk was either Gangadham or Kalyan Bhel.
Wait,
जा
Gangadham.
जाके.
एक second.
is a society, isn't it?
गंगाधाम सोसाइटी है, कल्याण बेल तेल वाला है.
उधर
क्या बंक कर रहे थे?
उधर है ना खाना वाला इतना फ्लेवर्स का चॉकलेट कैडबी dude I discovered कैडबी.
तो से गंगाधाम के बाहर का चौपाटी एटलीस्ट. Don't say a society name.
गंगाधाम में इन्फ्लक्स हो रहा है महेश चुटकुले.
Suddenly गंगाधाम के
आज सबने
महेश के लोग
what exactly is happening in the flats?
पार्क में ऐसे लोग स्विंग कर रहा है गंगाधाम के. People are like ये चलता है.
अंकल इन बैल्कनी लगता है सबने बग मारा आज.
No. So there was this chopati like thing outside Gangadham, which is where we used to go to hang out at the most. But yeah, that like we
In
used to
Kalyan Bhel.
Kalyan Bhel, yeah. It was very cool. Our teachers used to catch us in Kalyan Bhel.
Dude, I'm sure the teachers knew where you all were going. Like
That
there is
was
no
like walking distance from.
Yeah, so like
See there, your first mistake. If you bunk,
Amateurs.
if you bunk, at least 2 kilometer के
but
radius के
this
बाहर जाना
once
होता है.
I will tell you, I was cool enough to be all like my friend and I, we went for classes. We were like, okay, we don't feel like attending. We got up from class. We went on the terrace. We were like for 2 hours sitting on the terrace and just sitting and looking out into the
That's
world.
nice.
That's good.
That's nice.
Like GPS location तो वही दिखाता.
Hey,
Like my
also-
mom will also ask like, किधर है? I don't think at that point parents, wow. Parents tip, you all can just tell your children location भेजो.
No, they do all that. No.
Now तो everyone has phones which
नहीं
have
हाँ,
GPS.
phone में
ना.
we can track ना. It's very easy. अरे
You
बहुत
can-
tech savvy हो गया है. I'm तो very happy I grew up in an analog world.
है
dude.
ना?
I couldn't do 90% of the मस्ती that I did in life.
I know, right? But yeah, tuitions means like I think my classes would be the friends and like all the bunks. And so in my story, I don't know if you all had this, but like being the first batch in 10th, we also had a picnic. We had something called they gave us this one night where it was a socials night. They removed all the benches from one class.
Dude,
We had a
what is
disco
this
ball.
class?
महेश स्टूडियो में prom वगैरह हो रहा है dude. ये क्या है?
जो स्कूल में नहीं होता वो महेश ट्यूटोरियल में हो रहा
Yeah,
है.
all these things. Like we had crazy ass things.
महेश ट्यूटोरियल had a prom.
बोरा क्लास में पता क्या करता था? 10th में फर्स्ट आया ना उसको स्कूटी देता था.
But that's
So
That's it.
cool.
I'll tell you why.
That's
he was
cool.
very-
That's it.
No, I'll tell you why. He was very smart. तो स्कूटी तभी ₹1 डाउन पेमेंट पे आता था. There was that phase in the middle. That's how he got the scooty.
but फिर भी dude,
Whatever,
it's like
yeah.
such a big gesture.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Like a Pune kid, मतलब 10th होने के बाद if you get a bike, मतलब at our time it was like a status quo, dude. Like मेरे पास
No,
bike
no,
है.
But, and also
Never
it was
done
the
that
time when everyone started becoming a couple, no?
Yeah.
Like because it's just around the same
That
time.
actually yes.
Yeah.
Like that was the funnest thing in
Yeah.
Bora classes because every
Funnest thing.
dude I'll tell you what because every Sunday was like a gossip trip.
Yeah.
Like you have to इसका breakup हो गया. Oh she's with him now. Oh he's with her
और ये
now.
सब स्कूल में थोड़ा मुश्किल था
We-
because
we-
we
we had
were
an all-boys school.
We were all in same sex schools.
Yeah.
I
हो
don't
गया उधर.
think I mean, all boys school में भी हो सकता है but whatever.
Yeah, now.
Now people are more open
Yeah.
about these things.
Yes.
But see that was fun. Also like when relationships used to get caught, then it used to be like a ऐसा how there's like tension in the air that you can cut with a knife. You feel that okay, and so you had 3 batches, right? Bora classes had 5 batches of only 10th standard and 2 batches of 9th.
But how many people were there in it?
120 each in every batch. Even
And
9th.
how many schools were there in this?
We had
You could say all the schools.
SSC.
we had
SSC
Anne's, Vincent's, JN Pettit, Nagarwala,
Felix.
Felix, and 1 or 2 from those areas as well. So like 7, 8
No,
schools.
Hutchings was in our.
Hutchings was CBSE.
ICSE
ICSE or CBSE?
ICSE था because Hutchings के लोग
That's
हमारे
true.
इसमें आते थे.
Yeah.
Mount
so
Carmel's.
like when relationships used to get caught na, baap re, those gossip sessions used to be the best because
But
these
caught as in how by the teachers?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
teachers
yeah.
will be more invested than us.
So,
I'm pretty
Of
sure.
course, if I was a teacher in Gora classes, that would be my life on which I am surviving.
yeah. So the guy who used to teach us science, right, was the main guy's son.
Okay.
So he was pretty young. Like he was like in his late 20s. So he बरोबर से knew who's dating who, what's going on and वगैरह वगैरह. So
Yeah,
his
but
life
now
was
in
that.
retrospect, being in my late 20s, like popcorn के लिए और क्या? Like What else?
Yeah, if I started teaching a class that big, I would
Yeah.
immediately go there. Like, हाँ मेरे को समझ रहा है.
Obviously. Dude, okay, but I have to pause this to just let you guys know that Ramnujan has done a very, very, very good story about this, which I feel trumps every tuition story that I have ever heard in my life. Like, I don't think...
It was damn intense. Okay, so basically, Bora classes used to happen on a floor with like flats facing each other, right? So basically, एक का दरवाजा खुला है तो दिख के आता है. So हमारा ट्यूशन चल रहा था. I think it was one of the weekdays only, something like that, right? So I used to go in the 6:30 in the morning wala batch. Everyone's very droopy and has very low energy, whatever. Around the end, 7:30, from like the corridor, we hear shouting. Like we hear this auntie, like an old auntie, can make out she's shouting, and then we hear someone getting hit and all that. We are like, everyone's up, everyone's shouting like, क्या हो रहा है? अभी we are just like, दरवाजा थोड़ा खुला तो we'll get what is going on. And the main guy was teaching, and he was super strict, so he couldn't do anything. What happened was then that auntie was like, नहीं मेरे को किरण सर से मिलना ही है. We said okay. So she opened the door and 2 classes का door was open. So there is a viewing audience of 300 people almost. And what we see is this auntie, this boy and this girl. The boy is getting beaten by the auntie and the girl is sitting and crying. And we are like, पता नहीं क्या चल रहा है, whatever. And then all teachers come out and teachers, assistants and all are out and all. It's a huge deal. Because this auntie is threatening to call the cops and all. And we are like, fuck cops वगैरह तो क्या हो रहा है सुबह वगैरह. So then all that thing got happened and they were like, नहीं हम we'll take you to our office and we'll settle it there. Let's not do it in front of the kids. And actually before that, this auntie was like, नहीं अभी ये लड़के के parents को भी बुलाओ, whatever. Like it was just became a huge ass fucking deal. So these guys went to the office. The guys. This thing was also called, and then we left, and then धीरे again on the Sunday gossip sessions we got to know that this guy and girl were in the same school, that is a co-ed, Nagarwalas करके, and they were found making out in a small room where the teacher's assistant used to sit.
Oh,
in the class or in the
no
school?
in the class
Huh.
where the teacher's assistant used to sit, because that's where she came to the class, right? So where the teacher's assistant used to sit, they got caught. And I till date don't know how the parent, like the girl's parent got to know. Maybe one of the teacher's assistants said or whatever. But my God, जो बेइज्जती हो गई बंदे की, he left the class.
How sad. Obviously.
He left. He is like, fuck this, I can't do this anymore. And we don't know what happened after that. But
Dude, but police को वगैरह क्यों?
अरे she was like, police को बुलाऊंगी and all, because according to the mother, the guy ने जबरदस्ती किया.
himself.
And the girl was saying कि नहीं.
But why would she?
I'm good.
The thing about the parents' attitude is na कि my girl will only look good in this situation if जबरदस्ती हुई है. I'm like, what does that mean?
नहीं.
Like she will look good in this situation if she consented to it. Yeah. Like I don't understand this mentality.
So at that point it was just damage control. But देखना shame ही नहीं है, ऐसे 300 बच्चे देख रहे हैं और बंदे को मारते जा रही है, हम लोग को तो मजा आ रहा है.
Because that is such an intense thing to happen in your schooling life.
Dude, that tuitions का folklore है वो. Like if you go and tell people कि अरे तुझे पता है वो नगरवालास का, they will tell you the story.
Oh my God.
As if they were there. Like it's been told and retold so many times.
Shit, dude.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
What happened? What steps were taken by tuition or whatever?
Tuition, I don't think did anything.
Because what will they do?
Yeah. They are like, dude, ये personal life है तुम्हारा.
Yeah.
Like tuition क्या करता है? They separate and boys and girls how much ever they can. That's it. उसके आजू बाजू whatever you do, what they can't keep like vigiling everyone, no? And the problem was CCTVs थे, but classes में थे. Teachers assistant के इसमें नहीं थे.
Yeah.
They're so smart ना these kids. मतलब they knew.
Where there is a will, there is a way.
They knew. Like हमारे जो grad school में था ना, like there was this one room जहाँ पे nude models का drawing होता था. सिर्फ उस room में कैमरा नहीं थे और सिर्फ उस room में लोग कुछ ना कुछ करते ही थे.
100%. It's that only. Dude, but for like honestly, it went from like being amusing to a slightly traumatizing because these are still like 10th standard kids.
I can imagine.
Yeah, now
that
like,
girl
I think
would
about
probably
it.
never like trust
No,
her
I think
parents.
the
Like
girl. I think the girl came. So she was not in my batch. She was in the 7 to 8 ka batch. Like that happens. So that's an overlap happened, and we got to witness this amazing show. But I feel the girl also left within a week or two.
Obviously.
Because everybody was and she's just like, fuck this. I can't deal with this. I'm going.
also so horrible as
The poor
children.
guy.
Yeah.
I somehow feel bad for the guy more than the
Of course,
girl.
because
I
he
mean,
was the one who suffered.
yeah, at the
Yeah.
end of the day, it's her parents. She loves them or whatever. Like it.
क्या ही कर सकते हैं? But
Yeah.
she was still trying to say कि उसने नहीं की.
Yeah, but the guy, like, it must have been severely traumatized.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know what, but yeah, that was.
ने हाथ भी नहीं लगाया होगा किसी लड़की को for a very
Ah,
long
you'll
time.
be like, no. First date. Are your parents normal? Do they follow you to classes? Do they talk to the assistant?
Yeah, that's a plausible thing. I think the parent must have only come because parents are also pretty intense. Huh?
Yeah.
Like
Parents-
they used to
See,
follow up like
The
religiously.
thing is that parents are like that only. We've already spoken ना कि tuition class भेज रहे हैं. We are paying this money. If you are doing all this naughty in your tuition class, then it's like a dhakka to the parents. They're
Yeah.
like, ठीक है, I know this is normal, but at the same time, I don't think that you should be doing this right now.
Yeah. So in my tutorial, like that's the whole couple thing always used to happen. So basically, whereas we used to always be out of class, like the minute we got a break, the couples used to stay back in class and like sit and talk on the benches and
class
all.
में क्यों करते हो तुम लोग?
I have
देखो
no
basic rule. If you are bunking, if you are doing shit like this, 2 kilometer radius. Life tip है ये. मतलब don't do it.
But children were broke also at some point.
अरे
ना?
चल के जाओ 2 किलोमीटर कितना दूर है?
That's true. 2 kilometers for children is nothing.
So
It's better than doing it in a teacher's assistant.
yeah. So these guys were just
That was very
sitting,
ballsy.
harmlessly sitting on the benches and talking or whatever. This one particular professor, I don't know, he was such a sleazeball. He used to come to class during the break. Like, leave us alone, bro. Like, leave us alone.
नहीं, I don't blame professor.
See, the thing
I
is
blame you kids. तुम ढक्कन हो सालो.
The thing is,
तुमको
see,
फाड़ देना था.
I would also be the sleazeball professor, but I would not. I would just do it just to go and then leave.
No, but उसने
That's
आग लगाया.
That's just
and then no one will do it or leave.
that's cock blocking. Immediate clock blocking. That is.
But success, no. Like for me, it's a success.
No, but he actually went, I think, and told the girls' parents, because then the girls' parents like they obviously scene नहीं हुआ, उनके घर पे scene हुआ, but the typical
ये हो जाएगा.
You missed out,
the typical I'll took her phone away and
वो तो
dropped
standard
her
है.
to class and
उसमें
picked
तो
her
love
up
you
from
जानू
class.
वगैरह देखने को मिलता है.
Oh my god. Man, kids are dumb. Okay. So, in conclusion, if given the option, would you choose to go to tuitions or no? In retrospect.
I think it opened me. Like, I feel like tuitions were where I came to know what is possible. Like, because I was in such a sheltered environment at school, or I was in such a, like, not Dhoti wala, because that was the same environment, but like, Bakliwal and stuff like that, it really taught me what is out there.
Yeah, you
and
sort
what
of
to
need-
expect from people in the world. Like, you can't be in that sheltered environment forever.
True. Same thing. So I think I would still go for classes minus a few hours, I guess, and the
Saturday Sunday.
Like, थोड़ा कम homework भी दे देते तो अच्छा होता. हमारे लिए हम बच्चे थे.
Stress of it all, of performing in school and classes, but the memories we made in classes, the things that
See, but the
happened.
thing is that is a human thing.
Yeah.
Like, you would make memories wherever you go.
Yeah.
So it's not like you need tuitions for that.
Yeah.
Correct.
But then again, like it takes it to a broader spectrum, like compared to college. College, again, you do meet people from different aspects or different walks of life. But in classes, like it was at that age, at 16, meeting people who are not from your school, not from your area or neighborhood.
In that earlier age when it
Yeah.
it makes a difference.
Today, if you are in Pune and you have a Facebook friend list of every fucking person in Pune, it's because of your tuition
Yeah,
class.
for sure. Dude, tuition has given me the best joy in Facebook, which is Vishrantwadi Confessions. I will always. Do you know what Vishrantwadi Confessions?
This will be a mini show.
But I know this confession pages was a thing.
That also because of tuitions only. ये
ट्यूशन पे ये सब कांड
हाँ,
होते थे ना.
because
Like,
Sunday
ये
gossip
नगर
पे
वाला
online हो
thing
गया.
happened in tuition class, no? It didn't happen in school.
Hey, I want to go and see if there is a Bora classes confession. Shit, I missed out on that.
Do you
Damn
think it
it.
still happens? I doubt those.
No. Confession pages I don't think happen anymore.
Yeah.
Confession pages
Because
is
that day
bomb.
I really was.
If you want to
bored.
know more about confession pages,
Yeah.
watch our confession pages.
Podcast we've done one on it. Shameless plug. Oh man.
नहीं, हमारे इसमें अगर हमारे इसका
हाँ,
ही
वो तो करना
प्लग
पड़ेगा.
करे तो it's not shameless.
Yeah,
It
for
is our job.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, you guys, if you have any amazing tuition stories to share with
I'm
us,
sure you must
which
have.
will
Dude,
beat
if- top me.
Nagarwala.
Top my story, I dare you.
If y'all know the Bora class song,
Don't.
please.
No.
Yes, please type it out because Ramnujans refuses to tell us.
Nope.
We want to hear it. We want to hear someone sing it.
Nope. Not happening.
And don't forget to subscribe to our channel Padaku
Yes.
Panda. We have new episodes every Friday, and this is our
small-
first guest.
yes,
No,
first-
second.
Third.
Third.
Wait, Karthik.
Karthik. I forgot about the Raj Comics one.
There were two on that, then
The movie.
He's
the
our
movie.
third guest episode.
no, fourth. Because Raj Comics में दो guests थे.
Hey, that comes on one episode.
No, dude.
It's our third episode.
Yeah, third guest episode.
And if you like guest episodes, please leave your comment and
Yes.
subscribe. We have new episodes every Friday and
Yes.
little ones during the week.
So don't miss out.